JB here. November 13th, 3:32 on this fine Wednesday. Really quick rant, not too much to talk about, didn't do much today. Unfortunately, some of that's a function of the market, right? So small caps are taking on the chin again. Take a look at this, the IWM. It's well down 0.7% now. So not yesterday was 1.1 3/4%. So today and yesterday, now you're looking at about 2.5% to the downside. Uh, IWM's right at that 235 handle. It held it just about the 3 o'clock hour. So hopefully that holds, and then maybe we can set some turn up into the end of the week. I always try to look at the silver linings, right? And the first silver lining here is the VIX broke under 14 in the afternoon, despite the market kind of pulling back at 2 o'clock, and 1377 low. So it's almost like it's been unwinding since last week, regardless of what the market does, and getting back to like historical calm levels. So I don't know if that's a prelude to anything or not, but I kind of wish it happened into the election, but you get what you get. So that's kind of a good sign. And then on the flip side, you continue to see more and more chatter around this the strong U.S. dollar. And yields are higher again today. Mortgage rates, right, nearing 7% again. So hopefully that I called the VIX, the TLT, and not the VIX yields and something else. I was calling it the triple-headed monster a couple months ago, and similar situation here. I think when you have to. Maybe it's nothing, but hopefully the yields start to kick back down, and then the strong U.S. dollar, as long as it doesn't spike way too much above where it is. I think it's at late spring levels. So, all right. So that's overall market. So individual names and first SE. So I mean, this morning you have Morgan Stanley coming out giving upgrading the price target from 105 to 131. Then you have other analysts adjusting their price targets. So Benchmark came out. They already have a buy rating on the stock, but they raised their price target to 130 from 94. So it's a $36 price target hike. So over 30%. And then you have TD Cohen raising their price target to 100. I look at the story and I still look and I think that it's going to be over $130 in the coming months. It's just probably some chop here, some consolidation after the move. Disappointed. So spiked out of the gate. It was 111 and 112, and I was looking at possibly. I thought maybe there would be some continuation, especially with that Morgan Stanley upgrade coming out. And then so I went and got some speculatos to add to my December strikes, and sure enough, found some resistance and it's been kind of in melt mode ever since. Just kind of disappointing here, down 2%. It's been a volatile name before, and I don't know if it's because some of the China names are down. I hope not, but I still think that trades over 130. So I'm not going to do anything, add any more strikes for a couple days until it finds some direction. Maybe if it breaks over that 117 it hit yesterday, and then maybe I'll look for some strikes there. So that's SE. Take a look at Lemonade. It was in the green for most of the day. Then it shot down into the red at about 3 o'clock with the rest of the market, and then bouncing here. So it's up about 2%. Showed you the chart this morning. It's like a stair step. Every two sessions it squeezes in the green, then it's a red session. Then two to three more, then a red session. We had our red session yesterday. So if it's green today, I would assume it's going to squeeze. It would set up to a squeeze tomorrow over 35. So I'll continue to hold my December strikes. Locked most of those in already. I don't think I'll add anything unless it gets over 35 and really starts to squeeze. So that's SC. No, SC Lemonade. Altimmune. I was watching all day yesterday. If you saw me post in the chat room, and then finally I pulled the trigger when it was breaking over. It kept trying to break over 1050 and failed. 1050 and failed, and then finally it was trading up for the third time at about 1015. I went and got those strikes in December. So. Like this name, I mean, it's in the GLP-1 space. Unfortunately, take a look at VKTX. It's names that drive you nuts, but I think this is one that could drive nuts to the upside. Large short interest. December gives plenty of time. I'll continue to hold those strikes. I traded Altman back in the spring and summer, I think, and on a short move and made some money on the call. So here we go again. Deja vu. All right, so that's Altimmune. GLD, take a look at gold, and if I had any guts, I was going to add the minor shorts today, the GLD and the dust and the J dust. For now, I'll just hold what I have in regards to GLD puts. I was looking at GLL calls, but I went and locked some of my GLD December 230s in for nearly 100% just to cover some costs, and then I went and used that to get some January strikes, and I'll probably continue to add some strikes. You look, and it's like, I mean, it's a huge 30% run. It could drop 10, 15% and still be somewhat in an uptrend. So, I mean, can that bring it to $2,300 before the year's out. I mean, call me crazy. These are some of the, and you've seen some of the moves in the crypto space, and now the big buzzword store of value, store of value, store of value. I just don't. It's just has to have an impact at some point. You would think, and a lot of those people who are gold bugs, you, some of them converted. And I'm not going to go on rants. I don't have time here today, but uh, you have to think that they start to do research and say, hey, maybe I need some of this in my, part of my allocation in my portfolio. So uh, have to see how that all plays out, but I'll continue to look for opportunities to play for downside and lock on the way down, because you look, it's down to 2582. So that downtrend's broken. I think it breaks under 2500 next week. So call me crazy, and it might accelerate, right? People are up 30% in gold this year, and I'm not saying that a lot of folks don't do it as a trade, so they're not flipping gold as most times it's as an investment, but especially now too with the stronger US dollar, I think that just adds more pressure to it, or at least removes a lot of the bull case. All right, so that's gold, SE, SPY. Yeah, take a look at Spotify this morning. I almost pulled the trigger. I had that on the watch list to possibly do some follow through. Also, possibly adding some strikes to play for a move to $500. Goes all the way up to 460 at the open. Goes all the way back to 445, and then it's just been bouncing ever since. Just hit highs about 315. Premium is too high for my blood, right? So typically I don't buy contracts that are $6, $7, $5, $8, $3. Usually I like to do exits on when the prices are like that, because for me I like to buy multiple contracts. So I'd rather get further out, and I like to do out of the money. So I'm looking for leverage. If I'm looking to buy expensive contracts, typically I buy the common, but I'm here to trade options, right? So, so maybe a name at some time I'll revisit as the premiums come down into Friday. We'll see how that plays out. Some of the cloud names just going nuts today. MDB was all the way up at 319 this morning. Snow. So those are names definitely to watch. Still looking to get out of my travel zoo calls. It's down here 2% again, but not too much. It'll just need a little kick tomorrow. And if it gets back into the 1950s, it's going to be off to the races over $20. And then I'll add some March or December strikes. And that's my rant, folks. I'll be back on audio later. Let's have a great day. Rock and roll.